The time has come. I've been putting off this video for a while just because I've had other things I've wanted to record, but today we're finally going to go into Gran Turismo Sport and buy my dream R32 GTR. So if you haven't watched all the other videos I've made about my perfect R32 GTR, it's kind of one of those dream cars I have, and one of the obtainable dream cars. In a realistic world, I would love to get a Mark 1 Murcielago, but in the real world, an R32 GTR is probably my favorite car that I can actually obtain. Everyone has dreams of having Agueras and stuff, but realistically, that Skyline we can see in the back there is like my favorite car. It is my favorite car. There's something about it, and I can't tell you what it is, but there's something about that car which for me, on an emotional level, it just connects with me. So if you followed the channel, you will know what my build would be. You would know what my dream build would be, and I've done that in Need for Speed. Now, obviously, Gran Turismo is a bit more limited, so we're not going to be able to do it, you know, all the way, but I'm going to be able to give you guys a good kind of view on how it is, and Gran Turismo is the best game to show this off because, well, it's the most detailed out of all the games. To be fair, I'd keep it relatively stock, and if you've seen any of the previous videos, you'll know that. I'll probably put some wide fenders on, but I'd still keep the original look. The only real thing I'd do is maybe spoilers, and then like little splitters and diffusers and stuff, and change the rims, but it wouldn't be anything drastic. It wouldn't change the overall view. So it shouldn't be too bad. It should be pretty close to what I'd actually do to the car, is what I'm trying to say. Right, so let's go ahead and purchase it in white. White, I don't know, there's something about it. It just looks clean, shows off the lines really well. It is my perfect car. And look at it come in with the reflection. Oh! Right, let's go ahead and customize this, baby. Right, so here we are in car settings. Now, I'm not going to do much for the tuning and stuff, just because I don't really want to waste any of my mileage points. Also, is just not really much point. What I will do here though is I'm going to lower it quite a fair bit, just so we can have it flush with the arches. There's no specific build I would have with this car. I just kind of want it to be a road monster. That is kind of the plan if I was to ever get one, which hopefully I will in the coming future. I think the next 10 minutes are going to be me figuring out how I put the rims on. Why is it in the livery editor? That's so weird. Right, so, as we can see, we have plenty of rims that I have bought in this game. But sadly, even with all these rims in the game, I don't think there's any S13Ps. If you don't know what that is, I'll put it up on the screen now. It's those rims. I wouldn't have that car, but it's those rims. So that leaves me in a bit of a kerfuffle, really. RPF 1s look nice, so do the T37s. T37s are a bit of an easy choice. To be honest, I think the best rims I have are probably the RPF 1s. I'm gonna make them huge! Oh my god, no, that's a bit too big. Yes, that looks nice! And let me go ahead and chrome those out. So we've got a bunch of colours here, which we can do. We're just gonna chrome them out, because that makes the most sense. And there we go. That's pretty much done for the colours. What would it look like in Midnight Purple? Ooh. That does look nice. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say Midnight. I haven't got a bit of a soft spot for Midnight Purple. Back in the day, that was one of the colours which I fell in love with. Now I think I'm more susceptible to white, but if I was going to get a wrap and I was getting a bit bored of the white colour, that would probably be what I would choose. Now, I'm not going to bother with like liveries and stuff, because I'd be in this video for absolutely ages if I was doing liveries and stickers and stuff, because I kind of have a mental note of what I would do. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and get straight into a race, and we're going to drive it, and I'm going to talk about this car for a bit, because again, like I've mentioned in the title and many points in this video, this is my favourite car. So in the last video, I did say that I was going to finish all the beginner leagues, and I have. I've done every single thing here, all the events, and it didn't actually take too long. The first ones aren't too bad. I've since moved on to the amateur league, and I believe I've done almost everything. There's a few missing here and there. I haven't started the MX5 Cup, and there's a few here and there which I haven't started. I haven't started the one make races, but everything else has been done pretty much. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to the all-wheel drive series. These races are long. They're long-ass races, so I don't want to go in a circle for an awfully long time. Nor do I really want to do the Tokyo Expressway, because that's literally a straight line pretty much. So we're going to go ahead and go straight onto Brands Hatch, do 6 laps of Branch Hatch, and see how this R32 copes with everything else. It's an N300 car. This is an N400 race. So we're already at a disadvantage, and I haven't changed anything besides the height of the car, just so it looks a bit more slumped. So we're just going to see how this goes. Hopefully it goes well. To be honest, if this is N300 and an A45 AMG's N400, I think we should be okay. Right, so here we go. We are now in the race. First thing we need to do is go ahead and go into the traction control, put that down to 1. Not going to mess with the brake balance. And there we are in. For some reason, we're really high in the car. Can we change that? Yes, look at that. Now we can change it. I'm really small. That's why we're at -5. Right, I'm actually going to have it around about maybe there. I don't know what it was. That seemed like we were really close before. Yo, what the fuck? It's gone back down. What is happening? Right, I put it to -5, and that seems about okay. I don't know. I like seeing the interior for some reason. I'm really weird. This is odd, though. This is very odd. Oh, and this is very much harder to drive than a lot of the other cars in this game. It's weird. The R32 is kind of in the batch of the first cars that are old, and there's really not many cars like this in the game. So it does look a bit out of place, but I'm so glad they added it. If there was one car they could have added, the R32 would have been it. You know, obviously the Suzuki Swift was added in it. If you haven't seen the last video, you should go ahead and watch that. But without a doubt, I am so looking forward to just taking some snapshots with this in scapes mode. I've been holding off, and I've been trying not to actually just get the car just so I could do it in my spare time. This is the first time I've driven the car in the game, and it's so fun. Doesn't feel awfully all-wheel drive, if that makes sense. There's still a lot of roll, and that might be because I've lowered the car and I've tampered with the settings, and I haven't changed things obviously here and there, because when you obviously change one thing, there's knock-on effects. It's getting, like, it's loosening up quite a lot, which is quite weird. Hey, look at them, it's another guy, R32, and he's sliding around, look it. How am I losing traction with traction control on? Should we turn it off? Okay, let's see how this goes. Right, so traction control's off. Let's see. I'm going to be quite harsh with it in this corner. I take back what I said. You can definitely tell it's all-wheel drive. But it's a lot less forgiving than, like, a lot of the other cars in this game. I'm going to own one of these soon. Like, in the next 6 years, maximum. I like to think, in a perfect world, it'd be the next 3 years, I'd own one of these, to be honest. If YouTube goes the way it goes, and, oh my god. That would be, like, one of the ultimate achievements. And it's one of those things where, like, I'd customize it over time as well. It wouldn't just be I'd buy the car and that's it. I want to do things to it, like the Veal side kit, which you guys see me talking about all the time. I completely rammed him off then. Sideways. Yeah, the Veal side kit I always go on about. Like, there's so many things I do to my R32, and I wouldn't ruin it. To be fair, I would have been surprised if they didn't add this into the game, because obviously it's Polyphony and they have a history of adding way too many Skylines in previous games than they probably should. Oh my lord. I'm really tempted to see what this is like with a wheel. When I have my wheel again, I'm gonna have to try that, because I think that would be really interesting. It's now sinking in how long this race is gonna be. This is a long ass race. So what? It's like pretty much 2 minutes per lap. 6 minutes. 6 times 2 is 12. Take away like 2. That's 10. Quick maths. That's a dead meme. Don't make those jokes. They're not funny. I've been playing so much Gran Turismo recently, and it's a bit mad. I thought, you know, as more games came out, I probably was going to drop this game. Like, it was going to be one of those games which I ended up playing less. But I've had the opposite effect. I've played it more. The DLC they've added, honestly, made the world of difference for me as well. This single-player DLC has added so many hours for me, which I just didn't think were going to be there originally. The attention to detail in Gran Turismo games is just beyond anything else I've ever played. Like, there's so many little things here and there you'll notice with Gran Turismo games that, again, unmatched. I don't believe it takes them 3 months to model cars. I think that is probably a bit bullshit, but it does look nice, doesn't it? It does look nice. And in Scapes mode, where everything's rendered as, like, models and shit, and you've basically been given, like, what I'd assume is developer tools to make cars look ridiculous with screenshots. Jesus Christ, this is just one of the best looking games I've seen on this gen, period. Oh my lord, he just hit me. He just hit me. What a can. How dare you hit your dad like this? Skyline, Daddy Skyline is gonna eat your ass. To be fair, I have been racing relatively dirty for this whole thing. I don't play like this online, partially because I don't really play online on this game. I've still got to finish the main story. Like, this mode has been engulfing my life. Right, we're gonna break. Oh my god, he broke really late then. He broke really late. We're going to cut on the inside. Oh, I've gone wide. I've got really fucking wide. As if I'm trying to drift with traction control on. It doesn't work like that. Power slide, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Those people that nitpick like that, die. Come on. Come on, 32. It's getting away. Right, on the inside. A bit of a nudge. I didn't actually mean to do that. I've kind of touched on the idea of getting a car before my 32, just so I can actually do some bolt-ons by myself and actually get some, like, general fucking gist of what I'm doing, because I've never really got that deep into cars mechanically. Like an exhaust swap and maybe one or two things here and there, like changing spare tires. I've never really had the opportunity to get underneath a car. Now, obviously, I'm not saying engine rebuild, just little things here and there like bolt-ons. And that is still the case. Like, I definitely want to do that. And obviously, if I was going to buy an R32, I wouldn't buy a shit one, which you could pick up for like 15k. I'd pick up a nice one, like 25k is what it costs really to get a nice Skyline, which is expensive. This is going to happen though. It's definitely going to happen. I promise you guys, this is going to happen. Unless like one day I wake up and I'm like, I just don't like that car anymore, which probably isn't going to happen. Honestly, I'm going to have one of these. I will have one of these. No, I'm being overtaken by a Mercedes, an A-Class. The feeling I'm going to have when I own one of these and I look at the GTR badge on the steering wheel right there. That badge, which you can hardly see right now because I'm in the fucking shadows. I'm going to break down on camera. Like, actually break down. None of that Jake Paul in the fucking wilderness shit. Is it Jake Paul or is it Logan Paul? They're all the same to me. They're basically Zygons from Theo's hometown. Right, after all that was a pretty poor performance from me. I wasn't really paying too much attention. But we came second. That also means I'm going to have to redo this race in my own time, which means this video was a complete waste of time. Right then, that was the R32 GTR in I'm about to say Need for Speed then. Gran Turismo Sport. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace.